So now that we've done the tips of what to think about going into the decision, just making sure that we understand that this isn't really about right and wrong, this is about what is the best choice, and really understanding that, taking the appropriate amount of time to make a decision is important too. So this is kind of, Daryl, I think we described this as these four pieces of decision making as we tried to pull them apart, tease them out, so to speak, realizing that each one kind of stacks on the other. So it's building with what we talked about last kind of as the foundation. So sort of the top block of the stack is knowledge or information gathering. And so what goes into information gathering? Why is that important to the decision-making process if we're going to make a tough decision?
Yeah. Well, I think that the obvious answer to that, of course, is we need information to be able to do anything with the world around us.
Right.
To know what we're dealing with, to even know what it is, etc., the implications of it. But I think one of the most important parts of the knowledge block is drawing boundaries around the information that we actually have about the decision scenario and information that we don't have. And here's what I mean by that. Sometimes we get stuck because we're trying to make a decision with information that we don't have. We're saying, well, it might be this, it might be this, or it might be that, or I don't know what time it does that, or I don't know if those people are part of this group or not, or if they have these thoughts about this issue or not. And we get caught on this because we think we have to have that information, but we don't.
We don't have it.
We haven't drawn that clean boundary, and so we get paralyzed.
So we used proximity, this idea of if you made a decision to start working out and you were trying to make that decision, we kind of pulled in the idea of choosing a gym. And the first thing you would have to do is gather some information, have some knowledge about what gym.
Yeah.
So, what would be some important pieces of that? Cost.
Yeah.
Probably location.
Yeah.
Are they within 10 miles of where I live? Probably any further away than that, maybe. I mean, there's a lot of gyms, so
it'd probably be about 100 feet from me, but
yeah, or less. So, are there any other helpful things? You were saying at some point, there's probably an infinite number of information bits that you could gather about that. At some point, you just have to make a decision with knowledge you don't have.
Yeah, that's right. Because just like you said, there really is infinite information about any topic, especially in this day and age. We can go online and you can read about shirt buttons,
right?
For the next 6 months,
right?
You could do that about any given topic. So at some point we have to say, okay, this is the area of information that I have acquired, that I have, and I'm going to make the decision using this.
It is enough.
It's enough.
Yeah.
Because just like tip 2, if we don't do that, we're going to end up in this endless cycle of research, of information gathering.
With a diminishing returns on how much time we spend.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think another piece of the knowledge block is not just gathering the information, but working to understand it. It's really building that into everything else that you know and understand. So what do these bits of information mean to you? What's the value in those pieces? What's the implication of that information? And that's really where it starts to become tangible and useful for the decision-making process, because that begins to weigh on your choices in the decision.
That's good.
So once we have our knowledge, we'll move on to the second block, and that's coming up next.
All right.